How you guys doing? Hope you're going to have awesome day today. Elverse here. Right now, we're about to do a review video on Ahsoka Season 1, Episode 1 and 2. I'm surprised Episode 1 and 2 actually came out. I thought that it was only going to be one episode, and then we're going to get another episode another week, and then next week. But other than that, this was actually pretty interesting. So Ahsoka was able to make an appearance inside the Mandalorian. I believe it was a few times, and we got to see Luke Skywalker as well, not just as a cameo appearance. So that was actually in Boba Fett, the story of Boba Fett, basically when we saw Luke Skywalker and actually Boba Fett, and not Boba Fett, but the Mandalorian. It was actually interesting and weird, kind of complex, but I like it how they're combining Ahsoka with Mandalorian and also Boba Fett side of the story. It was because it was a little teaser that was going around. Like, everyone automatically knew, yeah, there had to be something that was going to happen with Ahsoka. She was going to get her own TV series. So, here's the thing. When I first saw this, I thought that it was actually pretty interesting, the climax story for Ahsoka. Now, this is going to be a difficult story to tell, but as you watch it more, it will explain a lot of information about how she knows about the Mandalorians as well. I'll get into that because she, as a former Mandalorian, she knows a Mandalorian that's turned into a Padawan, meaning it was her student. Yeah, the student that was actually a Mandalorian and then became a Jedi. I guess you could say it was kind of like Grogu's place with Boba Fett and Luke Skywalker. Like Grogu, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. Apologies. He had a choice between becoming a Mandalorian and becoming a Jedi. So I think this is the same exact storyline that they're trying to go with, except for this young Mandalorian chose to, I guess you could say, get under the wing, under the guise of Ahsoka. Now, as for this, and she needs help from her, once again, her former student that was a Mandalorian and also was her student as well. Because her student has really smart brains, and there is a rogue Jedi Master that's involved, and he uses a Sith Lord lightsaber along with the student. So he does have an apprentice as well. I'm not entirely sure if he's a Sith Lord or not, because it didn't declare it. It only said that he was a rogue Jedi. I'm not sure a rogue Jedi Master, but they said that he actually knows her because inside of the storyline, it said that he needs to kill Ahsoka, and he says that's gonna be difficult because killing a Jedi is kind of, I guess, difficult for him because he was once a Jedi himself. He could kill rebels in the Republic easily, but he chose to go to the dark side. We still don't know yet. But as for that, and they work for a mysterious woman that has once turned into the Empire. She was in tune with the Empire, basically. She worked for the Empire. They called her a witch, but she was no longer a witch. Surprisingly, I have no idea what the story is. Hopefully, we'll be able to get more of the lore of the story of the main benefactor that the rogue Jedi Master is working for, along with the student. Now, again, along with the rogue Jedi, there is another, I guess you could say, I'm not entirely sure if he's a Sith Lord or not, because he does wear bounty hunter gear, and also he does wield a lightsaber. Now, this lightsaber is kind of like Darth Maul. If you guys don't remember Darth Maul is the one with the double-headed lightsaber. I guess you could say that, attached to one. Furthermore, other than that, I just want to say this: the rest of the training with Ahsoka, yes, that'll be completed with her and her young Padawan. She's building up a team. She needs to build her team because we saw on the portraits that I guess her young Padawan was gonna receive a reward. There's a whole team, like a portrait on the wall. So my guess is that she's going to come up with the crew, because it's basically 2-on-4. They're against a witch and also 3 other rogue Jedis, basically. So that's actually 4 people. 2 versus 4 people. Yeah, that's gonna be a little difficult. Now they're all just fighting over a key. Now this key is, I guess you could say, in tune with the multiverse. Not the multiverse, but the universe. And obviously it got into the wrong hands. They stole it away from them and they're able to use it themselves. So the key is kind of like useless now that it was in the hands of the wrong people that shouldn't have used it for their own benefits, but instead they know exactly where the treasure lies at, where they actually really do need to go. For that fact of the matter is, there was a huge Easter egg if you hear what Ahsoka says. So basically, when she goes to see her former student, she goes help for her former student to unlock this puzzle piece, which was a circular spear, a little ball, basically. What happens is that she never completed her training with Ahsoka, and she understood a little bit of why, because Ahsoka did say this herself. She said, "I never finished training with Anakin. I stopped like my training with Anakin. I left him during the Clone Wars. Anakin and Ahsoka had been they're really close. They had a strong bond in the Clone Wars, and he was her master, and she was basically the pupil and stuff. And they've been through a lot together. If you see the Clone Wars, the TV show, they've been locked up in prison together, had escaped from prison together. It was actually pretty interesting. I enjoyed that show, The Clone Wars, since when it came out. But yeah, she ended up abandoning Anakin Skywalker. Who knows what would have happened if she would have completed her training? Would have she would have got? I think she would have gotten even more smarter, even more stronger if she stood alongside with her training with Anakin Skywalker during the Clone Wars. If she would have been one deadly is Jedi. I say Jedi Knights right there. Just work with Anakin. Who knows what she turned to the dark side. And she was all along with Anakin, but she does know that Anakin did turn to the dark side for sure. She didn't know. She knew about that part, which was interesting. But how did she hear about that part? Because it was like no one knew that Anakin turned into Darth Vader besides Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan was the first one who actually knew that Anakin was Darth Vader, the new powerful Sith Lord ever. Maybe, I guess we'll be able to see an appearance of Obi-Wan, her inside the Obi-Wan season 2 show. Maybe he explains it to her so that we get a little bit more context of what's going on, what's happening, because we will get a season 2 of Obi-Wan Kenobi's his story, his side of the story. I'm not sure what's going to tell, since we already saw Luke Skywalker, so maybe we'll see Luke Skywalker appear inside Obi-Wan for just a little bit, and then they'll say New Hope begin. New Hope, the Star Wars movie, basically. We'll be able to see that. Maybe that's where it's going to lead off of, and maybe we'll be able to see another fight with Darth Vader and Obi-Wan. But besides that fight, when she mentioned the word Anakin, everyone already knew that Anakin was going to be in the TV show Ahsoka. Now, what I'm thinking is this. Maybe I should save this for a theory video, because it's a really good one of how Anakin will actually show up, like in different circumstances, manufactured way. Other than that, that's my review video on this. Stay tuned. There will be a breakdown trailer for the next episode, which will be tomorrow. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're new, subscribe to the channel as always, and yes, of course, I'll see you all in the next one.